What began as a typical day of filming quickly spiraled into an explosive confrontation, leaving both the cast and audience stunned. The love and hip-hop Atlanta set buzzed with the usual chaos, fueled by intertwining storylines and simmering tensions. Celebrity Insider News. For Scrappy, however, the atmosphere felt especially heavy. He had been carrying a significant emotional load, balancing family pressures, unresolved relationship drama, and the relentless scrutiny of reality TV. Yet, today's tension wasn't just about his personal struggles. It was the looming presence of Chaotic, the brazen newcomer shaking up the cast. Chaotic had earned a reputation for his no-holds-barred attitude and razor-sharp tongue, traits that made him both magnetic and divisive among the group. Scrappy, already on edge, found himself at odds with Chaos's provocations, which seemed calculated to elicit a reaction. As filming progressed, what began as a heated exchange of words quickly escalated into a full-blown clash. Both men refused to back down, their tempers flaring in a way that blurred the lines between scripted drama and genuine animosity. The intensity of the altercation left everyone reeling. Cast members scrambled to de-escalate the situation, but the damage was done. For Scrappy, it was a tipping point, a culmination of external pressures and Chaos's deliberate antagonism. For Chaos, it was another moment to cement his reputation as a disruptive force on the show. The fallout from the confrontation would leave fans questioning where loyalties lay and how the incident would reshape the dynamics on screen and behind the scenes. Chaotic had no qualms about stirring the pot, especially if it kept him at the center of attention. For weeks, he'd been taking jabs at Scrappy, chipping away at his reputation with subtle but biting remarks. Whether mocking Scrappy's past relationships or questioning his relevance in the love and hip-hop hierarchy, Chaotic seemed intent on proving he was the new force to reckon with. Scrappy, who had endured the ups and downs of reality TV for years, initially tried to rise above it, dismissing Chaotic's antics as nothing more than a desperate ploy for airtime. But Chaotic's relentless provocations began to strike deeper, leaving Scrappy visibly on edge. The tipping point came during what the producers thought would be a standard confrontation. Cameras rolled as the two men squared off, but what was intended as a dramatic exchange of words quickly escalated into something far more explosive. Chaotic wasted no time in going for the jugular, his voice dripping with mockery. "You've been on this show how long, and you're still fumbling your business? What a joke." The words hit a nerve, cutting straight to Scrappy's pride, and the smirk on Chaotic's face only added fuel to the fire. Scrappy's jaw clenched as he struggled to keep his cool, his composure fraying with every word. It didn't take long for the situation to boil over. Chaotic's constant undermining of Scrappy's credibility had pushed him to his breaking point. For Scrappy, this wasn't just about the show, it was about respect, something Chaotic seemed determined to strip away. As tensions erupted, cast members and crew rushed to intervene, but the damage was already done. The moment, raw and unfiltered, left no doubt that this was no scripted drama. It was a clash of egos and pride, the kind of reality TV moment that would live on far beyond the episode's air date. Chaotic's words hung in the air, taunting Scrappy with their venom. "You're just another washed-up dude pretending to be relevant," he sneered, his smirk daring Scrappy to react. The room buzzed with tension, the crew frozen as they watched the confrontation escalate. Scrappy's warning, delivered in a low, firm tone, had fallen on deaf ears. For Chaotic, this was more than just a verbal sparring match. It was a chance to assert dominance, but Scrappy wasn't about to let him have the last word. Without hesitation, Scrappy snapped. In one swift motion, his open hand connected with Chaotic's face, the sharp crack reverberating across the set like a thunderclap. The impact left Chaotic momentarily stunned, his head snapping to the side as the crew collectively gasped. It was a moment of pure, unfiltered rage, one that shattered the line between stage drama and raw reality. The slap ignited a firestorm that neither man was prepared to extinguish. Chaotic's initial shock quickly gave way to fury, his face twisted with anger as he lunged at Scrappy. Chaos erupted as the security team scrambled to intervene, forming a barrier between the two men. Chaotic pushed against them, his eyes blazing as he shouted, "You think you can slap me and walk away?" Scrappy stood firm, his jaw tight, ready for whatever came next. The camera zoomed in, capturing every second of the pandemonium as cast members and crew shouted over one another in an attempt to restore order. What had started as another scripted confrontation had spiraled into an unforgettable, unscripted showdown, one that would undoubtedly leave an indelible mark on the love and hip-hop Atlanta legacy. Scrappy stood firm, his chest heaving as adrenaline coursed through him, his anger simmering just below the surface. His eyes burned with defiance as he met Chaotic's searing gaze. "You've been running your mouth too long," Scrappy growled, his voice dripping with venom. "Now you see what happens when you don't know how to shut it." The room was heavy with tension, the crew and cast scattered in stunned silence, their eyes darting between the two men. Security held them apart, but the raw energy between them was palpable, each man straining against the grip of restraint. The standoff was more than just a physical altercation. It was about pride and respect. Both men had reached a boiling point, neither willing to back down or admit defeat. The harsh sound of their ragged breathing and muffled shouts echoed in the air, amplifying the intensity of the moment. This wasn't just reality TV drama anymore, it was personal, a clash of egos that had been building for weeks. The cast members looked on in disbelief, knowing the line between entertainment and reality had been irrevocably crossed. Producers scrambled to defuse the situation, recognizing the potential fallout of the heated exchange. A break was called, and the crew worked quickly to separate the men, dragging them to opposite sides of the set. Even as the cameras continued to roll, capturing every raw detail, it was clear the damage had been done. This confrontation had left an indelible mark not only on the show, but on the relationships and reputations involved, a moment that would be dissected and replayed long after the dust had settled. The slap symbolized the boiling point of a rivalry that had long simmered between Scrappy and Chaotic. It wasn't just about a moment of anger, it was a declaration from Scrappy, a message that he wouldn't be disrespected or overshadowed. For Scrappy, this was deeply personal, a fight not just for his pride, but for the respect he believed he had earned over the years. Despite the temporary halt in hostilities, the air was thick with unresolved tension, and everyone on set could sense that this clash was far from over. As the fallout unfolded on camera, it became evident that love and hip-hop, Atlanta had just delivered one of its most explosive moments yet. The crowd around them buzzed with anticipation, their whispers filling the air like a hum of electricity. Scrappy's tension was palpable, his muscles coiled like springs, ready to snap again if provoked. Nearby, Bambi watched with unease, her instincts warning her that this was more than just another on-set altercation. She had seen the disdain in Chaotic's remarks and knew her husband wouldn't let such insults slide, not toward himself and certainly not toward her. For Chaotic, what had started as a game of provocation had spiraled into dangerous territory. His signature grin remained plastered on his face, but even he began to recognize that the situation had escalated beyond his control. Scrappy's step toward him sent a ripple through the gathered cast and crew, their murmurs growing louder as they braced for what might come next. Chaotic, accustomed to thriving on chaos and attention, now faced an adversary who had reached his limit, a realization that left even him momentarily unsettled.